Someone's joining. I think.
So if I can just say to people who are going to join the recording, today is a different class. Tonight is a different class because we are reflecting on what we have achieved, what we wanted to achieve, we didn't, and just reflect on what happened. And we want to celebrate. The aim is to celebrate our journey because, it's end of the year, and oftentimes we don't take time to celebrate. And I'm sure once we start to reflect, you will notice that you have achieved so much, and and that deserves the celebration. And towards the end, I would like us to start talking about intentions for 2023, because as you all know, when we put a plan together, our brain is happy because brain loves the clarity, and once we tell the brain that's what we want, it will happen. So with this in mind, let's just start conversation. I'm sorry, the people from recording who watch recording, you've missed my celebrations, but let's talk about your celebrations and your achievements.
I might have a little clip because you forgot. I just did a screen recording, so I can share that with you.
Awesome. Always helpful.
Who would love to go first? Andrea, Christina, Gail, Eds? I'd like to share
first, if none of the ladies puts their hand up.
Of course.
Yes, so thank you very much, Jolenta, for getting us together. And also, I'd like to thank you for the past year, because for the whole year, we have really grown so close. And you are such a good friend, and I can't wait to welcome you on the coast very soon and to give you a real hug, not only an online kiss. And so you were a big part in my journey over the last year, and I really appreciate it and want to thank you for that. And so the journey that I had was a very intense self-development journey, even though I have been on that journey for quite a few years, but the last year was really intense. I also decided to pay for a personal coach, which really helped me break through in many areas, and I was able to put a lot of things together. All of a sudden, my life, my past, and where I am now started to make sense, and I got really clear around my purpose and my mission. And this is also the reason why I have changed niches a few months ago, and I know that I'm now on the right path. So while I was choosing the word breakthrough for 22, I was more thinking on a business breakthrough, but I think it was a huge personal breakthrough, which will have a breakthrough in my business as a result, which I will see in the very near future. I'm very sure about that. And you, all of you ladies, you contribute to that. So thank you very much for being with me on my journey. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I celebrate you, Andrea. It's definitely has been a journey together. We've met so many times and we've exchanged ideas, and I know how brave you are. I notice how brave you are to when you changed your niche and you jumped straight into that, and I saw you blossoming ever since. So and I can't wait till I get to Gold Coast and we're gonna do that salsa dance together.
Thank you, Jolenta.
Awesome share, Andrea. Thank you for sharing.
I'd like to welcome Francesca. Francesca just joined, and I want to say, I can see you now. I hope you're still there. Am I talking to Francesca? Is she still there? We
Yes, I'm
are
here.
reflecting. Are you still here? Okay. We are reflecting on the year, on 2022, and we're talking about achievements and the things we wanted to do, we didn't do, because we've changed the direction. Like Andrea just said, she changed direction in her niche. And so we want to celebrate with you. And later on, we will be talking about intentions for 2023, just to help us get ahead before January starts. So anyone, Francesca, you're also welcome to jump in and tell us about, share your achievements and your reflections.
Thanks, Yolanda. First of all, sorry I'm late. I got delayed with another call. I just can't believe it's the end of the year already. And yeah, there are some areas that I mean, there's regrets, but then there's also really good learning opportunities for me. I've certainly changed direction. I've gone from the beginning of the year thinking I was going to concentrate on executive coaching to now changing my focus to group coaching, corporate coaching. And if I happen to pick up, you know, one or two or a few one-on-one executive coaching, then so be it. That would be the byproduct of my focus. But because I've had several opportunities this year to do group presentations and training. They've all been 1 or 2 days, so quite intense. And I've come away feeling very, very gratified and humble, and really loved the experience of sharing my experience and knowledge with, you know, a room full of executives. So that's going to be my focus now going forward for 2023.
Congratulations. Thank
you.
I've seen you shining through along the way, and so what would you like to celebrate about your journey?
I can be quite stubborn at times, or in the past that's been my one of my character traits that I've always wanted to work on. And I think this year I've given in to, you know, the feelings and the emotions of, you know, if I wanted something, you know, if it has to be, it's up to me. That following that sort of, stop fighting it. If this is what you like, then just go with it, because it doesn't have to follow that original plan. Whereas I think for about a year I've been stuck on, I've got to do this because that's what I just, you know, and it's like, I think one of the best things that you can be in life is flexible and just take on what sometimes is in front of you is the way to go, rather than fighting it. So I want to actually, pat myself on the back for just letting go and taking it in, and whatever's happened has happened for a reason, you know. So I'm celebrating that, and hopefully that'll continue to shine as I as I continue into 2023 and not be set in my ways, so to speak.
That's amazing, Francesca. It's great to see your journey, and I remember you were there in the the 7-Figure Coach Club, and and after that you've done so many amazing things after the retreat, I think. Yeah, it's only taken 2 years, Niroshi. That's what I mean about giving into the, you know, it's sort of, I liken it to being in the ocean, you know, instead of swimming against the waves and against the current, just go with it, just go where it takes you and make it
you know, your own, make it mean something beautiful. So yeah, it's only taken 2 years, but I think I'm there. Thank you.
That's
Thank
amazing, Francesca. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
the share. And you inspire us as well.
Hmm?
In your own way, you inspire us
Oh, thank
by
you.
the things that you do. And
Thank
you
you.
tend not to celebrate, but you should be celebrating big time.
Well, I am now, because I've now thought, okay, well, I didn't think I could do that, because and also thanks to Meta 3, that gave me that kind of final push to you know, to go for it. But it's like, yeah, I don't have to stick to that plan that I made 2 years ago and spent all that money on. I can change if I want to. So yeah, it's been good.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Well
Sarah.
done. Who would like to go next? Yes, Ed, come off mute.
Yeah, I think things that I wanted to celebrate this year was that but I'm happy with where I am working right now. I love the team. I like our, you know, the culture, the environment, and of course our leaders. Our CEO and our CFO are great leaders, and people that I look up to, especially our CEO who leads by example, and she's very accommodating, and I know that she shares whatever she knows all about the business, and she is also a people person. So being working with that type of environment encourages me to become become a better person or a better employee, and at the same time I'm able to share that not just inside where I am working, but also with externally, outside work. And in that regard, I think in the past year or in the past 2 years, that's what I was envisioning, like working with a company or working in a team where I can be at my best and without too much stress or too much pressure, and at the same time working in a lesser hour, but at the same time earning more in terms of financially. And I think that being said, which was an intention years back, Olanta knows that. She was part of that journey, which now came through. I think I was also able to grow, not just in professional area, but in terms of my relationships with other people, and in areas like in terms of health or developing my skills um, outside work, like, you know, being able to communicate more effectively as well, where the intentions and where the intentions are prior to this year have just come true. And I also celebrate my willingness is still to learn more in terms of me as an individual. Lately, I've been listening to several podcasts and putting it as a habit of reading at least 5 pages before going to bed. And I think what I've learned from this group as well, like putting the habit in our everyday lives, make us more successful, or putting some of what we've learned in the past, sharing it with other people, so that it's just not us who's learning, but sharing what we've learned to other people will make us grow as an individual. And so, yeah, so, and another thing that I wanted to celebrate for the year is that first time after 3 years, I was able to travel internationally. So when I went to Ireland with my husband for the first time, I went to Europe, and it was a nice experience meeting up with, you know, his relatives and all the people that, and also a friend of mine who's living there in Ireland now. And it was nice to catch up, and it was a really good experience after more than 2 years of experiencing the lockdown. So, and I'm looking forward to more travels, hopefully next year. So yeah, that's for me.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing.
I want to add something here because I've known Ed for a number of years, and actually Ed was one of the original group when we started Conscious Leader. It was called GG Gallery up in my my garage space, and we had amazing time. But when I met Ed, and congratulations on your achievements.
Thank you.
It just shows what you were dreaming and also putting work into. Now, amongst us are mostly coaches, and when I met Ed, she was doing a lot of personal development because she wanted to make a difference in her life, and she was stuck in the previous job, and it was affecting her health and her relationships and so forth. So we've worked together for how long I don't remember now, for quite a while. But you know, she was setting those goals, and those goals happened. She was breaking the old habits and bringing in new habits, and opening doors to new experiences. And so I'm so grateful to hear that. And you know, it's been around almost a year since you got married.
Yeah.
So
Just over a
congratulations.
year.
Yes, just over a year. And that
Yeah.
was the amazing experience. I watched it on Zoom. Unfortunately, we were in COVID, but
Yeah.
it's a great experience. So coaching, I'm just saying, my message was that coaching is very important, and
Yeah.
inspiring people, because this is, I think, what Niroshi said, that people don't they hesitate to take a coach, but really with the coach we can accelerate our growth, and we can come closer to where we want to be. That's basically what I believe, what I've learned about coaching, and it's proven.
Yeah. Thank you, Jolanta, and thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks for the awesome share, Eds. Yeah, as I mentioned in the chat, I love the commitment to your growth and the journey that you have come through. And it's amazing that Yolanta was there from the beginning and you both were together. Yeah, it's nice to have someone like that in your life. And we become the average of the 5 people we associate with. It's important to remember that as well. And you should be grateful for the people we have in our life who inspire us and encourage us and support us in our journey, genuinely. And we are so lucky to have people like that in our lives as coaches and as, you know, entrepreneurs, because some people don't. Yeah. So I will shut up, and who would like to go next? Christina, yes, bring it on.
Hey everyone. I can't believe also the year has gone so quickly. It seems as though this year has flown. I just don't know where it's gone. Which surprises me to think back on reflection of what I can reflect on. And I actually became a published author this year, doing a collaborative book. So I guess that's a big achievement.
Hooray.
And I haven't really celebrated it much with anybody. Thank you. And then I put the book up for sale on my website, and the next day someone brought it. So I'm just like, goodness, that's okay. Thank you. So I've sold a couple of the books now, but I haven't received them yet. They haven't arrived. So I'm waiting for them to dutifully arrive. So that's been, I guess, my biggest achievement this year. My biggest learning this year, I think, probably is to trust myself a little bit more. I was creating a group program, and I just went left field. I created this group with this fancy name. And at the end of the day, I wasn't resonating with all of it at all. Like, it was just something that I was doing and putting together, and it wasn't really me. And a friend of mine called me out on it and said, you know, this is, you don't seem to have your passion in there anymore. And I'm like, you know, you're right. I just don't know what to do. And she said, well, why are you reinventing the wheel? And I'm like, well, because I've used it before. Why I can't do something I've done before. And she's like, yeah, but to how many people did you do it? And it made me realize that, like, the community that I brought together was only a very small community. It was precious. But, you know, the whole concept that I was so passionate about, which is brave and unstoppable, was a concept that I hadn't finished properly, even though I'd shut it down. And it really needed to be birthed properly and be offered. So another achievement I'll be achieving soon is the new launching of Brave and Unstoppable to a community where it's my vision to creatively change the world, one box of crayons at a time. And it's starting with building of this community and helping people to creatively tackle the complexities of life by mindset changes and creative thinking, but also doing art as well. So I blend my artistic ability into all of it. So that's my wrap up for the year, I think. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome, Christina. I'm celebrating with you, and I want to know more about your book. That's the first time I hear.
Oh.
So would you mind to write a post about this, and so we can reach out and possibly
sure,
purchase the book as well? So
absolutely,
you know, if you could share your journey in the post. Now, I also wanted to say something with in relation what you spoken about. I just happened to be at the influencer summit organized by Brendan Burchard last week, and there were many entrepreneurs, online entrepreneurs that were helped by Brendan in many different ways, and those ones succeeded tremendously. And one of the lady, and actually I watched Hag Evergreen launch a seminar a few months ago, and she was there live and explaining the principles. And the principle that I wanted to share with you here, Christina, is that she said, why reinvent the wheel? So she basically had the program that she put together, and she just launched the same program. She might tweak something in the marketing or add some bonuses to it, but she said, and someone told her, if something is working, keep doing, making it better. He said, so many people go around and say, oh, that's a shiny thing, that's a shiny thing, that's a shiny thing. Stick with what you got. And she made millions.
Oh, wow. That's encouraging.
Millions. Her name is, you might have seen her because I certainly have. Her name is, Portfield. I forgot her first name. Natalie Portfield? Amy Portfield?
Amy Portfield?
Maybe Amy Portfield. So she does the launch of her program, how to put the basically program together. And so she's got like an academy, and the range of people helping you to do that. She does it in 90 days, but she made millions. And she said the same product for the last few years. She just made it slightly better and better with bonuses and stuff.
Awesome. Thank you. That's so encouraging.
And for you who don't know Christina that well, Christina has, she was so inspiring me, like we were doing the same trainings and what she was doing and how she was doing. She's an artist. And I was drawn to her, what she's doing. She is just magic. And so she's got the magnet in the way she is, and she's got that uniqueness about her, how she approaches. So I can't, sometimes we have this year that it goes wobbly, but I trust that you will get back on your track, because it was fantastic what you were doing.
Thank you. Yes, I've lost myself a little bit this year. Yeah, for sure.
But Christina, you have achieved so much as well, and I want to celebrate
Yeah.
you. Well done on the launch of the book.
Thanks,
That's
Maroshi.
courageous, and that's
Yeah,
consistency and determination to
Yeah.
finish it.
Thank you.
Because a lot of us have got that dream, but we never start, or we're just halfway, or we never finish. And you've got the courage to do it. Well done.
Thank you so much.
And your arts are amazing as well.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
So, Gail, would you like to share?
Oh, goodness. I was trying to think what to say. Well, I've had a big year in a way, because I worked, lost my job, had to find a new one, and then I had to move. So, and then moving, I've only got a small car. So, and I'm living 3.5 hours from Adelaide. So that's where I was. So been doing regular trips, moving slowly things here. My biggest accomplishment this year would be doing the talk, even though I feel like it was a failure, but I learned so much on this program. Thanks to Yolanta, and it was but I've learned so much, and it was I used to have the perfectionist, ran a perfectionist so well. And it really made me break through that. And even though it wasn't that flash, it made me break through it. You know, the wheels didn't fall off, the world didn't end. I'm still alive, and we just, you know, put that one to a side and working on the new one. Being dyslexic doesn't help. And also being in a small country town, there's like a pub and a post office, is about it. I've had to go out of my comfort zone and really go out there and meet people. I was really, really afraid. So I've done that, and that's helped me enormously. It's like, it's building the muscles. You know, once you first do it, it's really hard. But you think of your models, who can you model? And go for it, you know, taking small steps all the time. So, and I used to really be really quiet and not really talk. So I've had to overcome that. So personally, I've done quite a bit, even though, that's my work-wise. I haven't, as in my business, I haven't got it running yet. So I'm getting there.
Of course, you will get there.
Congratulations, Gail.
Congratulations.
I want to say from the background, I know that Gail took it hard when things didn't go the way, and there were reasons, you know, she didn't have her notes there available. But, you know, and Gail shared with me, I have a pattern. When I fail, I don't want to pick up and go. But this time she decided that she is going to pick up the what she had, and that was only the beginning of what she wanted to do. And she's been working in the background on that presentation, and she discovered so many things. And this will become her template for talking to her community. That was the biggest realization, and I'm really grateful to be part of that, watching Gail and supporting Gail.
Thank you, Yolanta. Thank you very much.
I love the commitment. She's just amazing with the commitment. Once she commits herself, it's happening.
Awesome, Gail. Thank you for the share. And I just want to say, like, give a shout out to you that you said you were quiet and you were not speaking, but you're speaking in front of how many people? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people today. Yay. And you took ownership of your voice, and you shared your journey, and it's about our journeys, it's ours, and that's the uniqueness about it. The struggles we go through and how we overcome the struggles, that's the beauty of the journey.
It is.
Who we become at the end of it is the byproduct.
Exactly. And that's what you've got to think of.
Yeah.
I'm conscious of time, and I think everyone's shared so far, and I would like us to move into intentions. And so, Niroshi, if you could just maybe step in to say why intention is important, and then we'll share the intention.
Yeah, so let's go into why it is important to have an intention at the beginning of the year. Would someone like to share? Yes, Christina.
I think if you set your intentions at the beginning of the year, you have a roadmap on what way to go, which way to travel, what things to do, what to say yes to, what to say no to, because you have an intention of where you're going. If you don't have any intention, you're like getting in the car without any intention of going anywhere. You get behind the wheel, and unless you know where you're going, unless you know where you're going to drive, what's the point of getting in the car? So we're the car, you know, we're driving around for the year. If we don't know where we're going to go and we don't have an intention of the place that we want to arrive at, we're not going to know how to start.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for the share, Christina. And who loves what Christina shared? Yes. And also I want to add a little bit to that. It's you mentioned that without intention, we don't know where we are going. And also, like, it's even more than that. It's every day, if we know our intention, if we set the intentions before the beginning of the year and we plan ahead for the year, then every day we can course correct when we derail from our further goal and our wildly important goals. And we can course correct if we exactly know where we want to be. And it is so important to set the intention, as Christina shared, because we won't be lost then. We always can navigate. There's a compass for us to lead ourselves through. Yeah, thank you for sharing, Christina. Who would like to go next? Why is intention important?
I go next. I think intention has everything to do with focus. And we all know that what we focus on, we get. So it's like Christina says with the roadmap, if we don't know where we want to go, then life happens to us rather than we make life happening for us. So this is why, for me, intention is really important, so that I know what I'm going to focus on for the whole year. And this is also why I have a vision board, so that I always know why I'm doing it, what I want to achieve by the end of the year. And yeah, like you say, sometimes we derail and we have our weak moments, our low moments, but we always pull ourselves back together and steer towards our goal, which we are focusing on.
Yeah, thank you, Andrea. Who loves what Andrea shared? Yes, and thank you. And you actually expanded on what Christina shared. So I'm mindful of the time, and I'll let someone else share quickly about the intention, why it's important to you. Yes, Gail.
It's when you've got your focus and know where you're going, that's when you start planning on what you're going to do. And that's really important, because if you're like me, sometimes I'm going to do that next week, and then it's a month later. Unless you plan it and then put it into action, your year goes before you know it. So
yeah, exactly. Thank you, Gail, for sharing. Awesome. And I would like to collect what Andrea shared and Gail shared. Andrea said about the vision board. So it's a visual which we put somewhere we can see. And Gail said that we plan in probably writing. We set the plan together. So it's a visual for us to see, to go back always and refer back to when we derail. So thank you for the share. Who else would love to go? Yes, Yolanta. Yolanta, you can take over.
Oh, okay. So I like intention because, you know, I'm in the business of inspiration. I like to be inspired. So when I have intention, I'm inspired. So I have all the energy, and not only myself, I can inspire others because I can share my vision, and you know, people can be inspired by that and expand on their visions as well. Because I love community, I love being in the community, and I love when we all share.
Awesome. Thank you, Yolanta. And you are an inspiration, and I kudos to you for bringing us together as well today, well before the year ends. And here we are talking about our intentions and setting intentions. So well done, and thank you so much, Yolanta.
Thank you, Niroshi. And so we have 12 minutes. And so what I'd like us to do, and now we know why we need intention. And the intention is basically, you know, having idea what we want and putting it into plan. And so let's just figure out to do it. Who would like to share the very first draft of your intention for 23? What is the vision that you want to achieve? Who would like to step in? Francesca.
I was going to use this in my intentions little speech, but it's valid for this as well. I listened to a really, really interesting podcast today by a very qualified neuroscientist. I won't go into the details, but what he was basically getting at was that what drives everybody, every single person, is emotions. Every single thing that we do is driven by emotions, whether we like it or not, whether we know or not. And emotions are tied, obviously, very closely to feelings. And so he was giving the example of, if you can, did you know there are 34,000 emotions? 34,000. And the average person could probably describe anywhere between 10 and 12 about how their emotions. And he sort of put this thing out on a like the universe, like with all the stars. He said, if you can imagine all of those little stars are called an emotion. And so let's say you have a planet that's called happy, and then all around it are all these other emotions, all the names that are associated to happy. And so he was encouraging people, and this is through my leadership, you know, when I'm looking for information or inspiring content, I just got hooked, because it was like, if you choose the planet that you want to be on, as far as if you can imagine each star is a planet and it's an emotion, if you choose that and then look at all the other galaxies around it, all the other words around it, and set your intention, basically it sounded like be, do, have. You know, like if you want to be happy, what do you have to do to be happy in order to achieve happiness? So I thought, you know, that's exactly right, because there's no point getting up and feeling angry or anxious or jealous or, you know, uncertain about whether I can do this or not. Pick the emotions that really do you well, and then go with that. Go with what makes you achieve those emotions and feelings. And it's stuck with me all day. And I thought, that's it. That's what I'm going to do, because I think that's what's thrown me off track over the last year. feeling fearful, feeling scared, feeling, all the negative ones. And it's like, no, fuck this. I'm going to go with all the positive emotions, and I'm going to do the activity that generates those emotions. So I just thought that was very powerful. It was very powerful for me, and I hope it gives you something. If I can find.
Awesome. I love that. Yes, if you can find and maybe share with us in the community, maybe write a post.
Yeah.
It's very inspiring. And I love that, you know, I actually, you know, I didn't realize about that many emotions which you mentioned, but I love the way you said that, you know, we have intention to do something, but you talking about being some, you know, that person.
Yeah.
Because we all know now that when we are that person, we can achieve anything that is in the realm of that.
Yeah.
And so I really love that idea that your intention is to pick a positive emotion and be in the and you know and just play with that emotion and find things that support that emotion. I love that, Francesca. Who else want to share?
I think because I'm building a community that's called Brave and Unstoppable, my intention for next year is to not only be brave and unstoppable, but to show all of my community tribe members how they can also be brave and unstoppable in whatever they set their hearts to.
Beautiful. Brave and unstoppable. I love that. I love that because the whole theme in the world is that, you know, in the past, and I've said it the other day, in the past, people were looking at the idols, and I want to be like the idol, and it's like the idol is the benchmark or something. But actually, this is the old strategy. Now everyone can be unstoppable, and like people want to hear about the average person journey. So this is tied up with that. I love that.
Yeah, I love that too. That's awesome.
Who else would like to share? Who wants to go next? The intention.
Well, yeah, Andrea, you go first.
Thank you, Nebushi. So my intention for next year is to become a platform speaker. And as such, I want to spread the message to parents, especially how important it is to be aware of their own conditioning and their own healing so that they can prepare a clear path for their children. And I really, my intention is really to speak on stages next year. It will start early next year. I have plans already. I'm going to collaborate with somebody, and there's something in the bush, and I'm very excited about it. Can't wait for it to happen.
Awesome. Thank you for the share, and wish you all the best for that, Andrea. We'd love to see you on the stage.
Yes, Andrea will make it happen. Who wants to share next? Your intention.
I was quickly going to share something. Well, my intention is to really build my coaching business to a sustainable level. And the furthest intention, my dream is to inspire leaders to really be self-aware and to really be conscious of what they're doing and in their day-to-day life and in their day-to-day work, because I have seen so many leaders in my work for the last 18, 19 years. I have seen so many leaders who do not know what they're doing, and they do certain things and say certain things and behave in certain ways, which is really damaging to the culture of the people within that company. and they end up having this turnover of people all the time, because good people can't stay, they leave, and bad people get in there, and they're not bad people, they just don't know what they're doing, and there's no guidance, there's no training, there's no inspiration for them. So they are in survival mode. And when everyone in a company is in survival mode, there's no growth, there's no inspiration. They just come to work for money and they just go home, and they have no bigger dreams. They don't inspire each other, and they tend to live below the line most of the time and take actions below the line. And my dream is to get there where I can inspire leaders to really be aware, because a lot of leaders, they don't want to think that they don't know some things. They think they know a lot, and they don't want to listen to anyone else, because they've been in the business for 30 years or 20 years. They've inherited the business from their parents, and it's generational. And even if it's not generation, even in big corporates, I see that there is so much of jealousy, so much backstabbing, so much of below the line behaviors. And when I see that happening, it makes me so sad. I wish that I could inspire those leaders to really take ownership of their actions and come to the realization that there is so much that they don't know, and come to the realization that they really need someone to guide them through that journey and become their best version, so that they can impact their people, their teams, and it will make ripple effects in the families of those team members, and it will create ripple effects throughout the world. I'm sharing this because it's really, even at the place that I'm working now, because I've gone back to working from coaching, because I want to sustain myself. So I see so many leaders acting in more destructive behaviors than constructive behaviors. And it's really a huge problem which people don't see. And it affects a lot of people, where it creates a lot of stress, a lot of emotional upheavals, and it causes mental issues. And people don't know that team members don't have the authority, so they don't know what to do. And they just suffer in silence because their voice doesn't get heard. And there's no proper way to, for the leaders to understand their people, and their communication is totally broken. And they only look at the results in numbers, and people are a number for them, and there's no human connection. So that's my passion, to get to a point where I can influence. My dream is to influence 1 million people.
Is that all?
Age. That's the first step.
Niroshi, are you able to coach or offer some coaching to the leaders or to the executives? Or is it too close?
With the company that I'm in now?
Yeah.
At this stage, it's I have hinted a few things, but at this stage, it's not possible. But maybe in future. But the thing is, the leaders have to be open for that.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
The one that I'm in now, it's a big corporation. It's a huge corporation, where multinational company. So actually, the values they set, they're great, and they're really attractive, and they talk to the emotions of the people. But when it filters down to the lower level managers and the middle level executives, it gets diluted, and they're acting in a totally different way. Although they think they're acting according to the values, they are not. They're not living the values. So there's a big disparity between what's on the board and what's their vision and what's their values and what's actually been practiced.
Thank you, Niraj. I'm being mindful about the time, and I want a couple of more people, Gail and Ads, to share their intentions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Who would like to go first, Gail or Gail? Would you like? Yep.
Yes, I'll go. I think the last 3 years I'm going to start my business, and next year it is.
Hooray! I can
I'll
see that happening now that you have your vehicle.
That's right. I was listening to Joe Pane's Emotional Hub, and he said it's not fear of failure, it's fear of success. Is you don't want to take responsibility, and you thought, oh, that might be it. I better to pick up my game. Take responsibility and do it.
Responsibility. I'm writing this down. Okay, thank you. Eds, would you like to? That's great intention. Eds, would you like to share?
Well, for me, first thing that because I'll come back home in March after 6 years, 5 years. Last time I went back home into the Philippines was 2016. I want, and it's at the beginning of the year next year. Hopefully, my intention is that to be able to spend quality time with family and relatives and with friends, to have a wonderful catch up with friends, and be able to share with them what I learned in my personal development journey, and be able to inspire in my own little ways, like through that gathering. Or I think I mentioned that to Jolanta way back 2 or 3 years back, like be able to inspire and be able to set set a seed to people that I know, that there's a beauty in the personal development and non-stop learning, because in the process it's not just for the benefit of ourselves, but it's for the benefit of the people around us. So yeah, that's my intention for early next year.
Awesome. So you're going to spread the message about
Yes.
personal development and coming closer to the family. That's awesome. And so I quickly share what I came up with as I'm listening here. So I came with this idea recently, and I wanted to be more aware and more intentional in that respect. Is that we often listen, and we've been conditioned to listen to the confirmations from the outside world, who we want to be and what should be doing and how we should be doing. And this year in 23, I want to be able to listen to the internal voice, what that voice wants, and be more connected with myself. I've got quite enough knowledge now, and yes, if I want something, I can go out, but I really need to connect with myself to bring it out from me, who I am, and what do I want to share with the world. So that's my intention. Now, I would really encourage you. It was a great session. I hope you benefited of that as well. I would really appreciate if you were able to share in a short post your intention and also what you want to celebrate on on your achievements from 22. That will encourage people who are not here also to write, because we all know when we send that instruction to our mind, the mind will do the work. How many times, and I use this all throughout my life because I was a high achiever, I used to tell myself what I want to design. So I would send the brief to my brain in the evening, because I knew in the morning I will have ideas popping out. So there is a power of brain. And if we put this intention, it will happen, because we start focus on that. We put the energy on that. And if we write this down, others will know about this and they will support us. They will keep us accountable. So with that in mind, I'm so happy to see you here, and I trust that you you've benefited from that, and you take these thoughts with you, you know, for the next year, and everything will be wonderful, and you will achieve even more success in the following year, in the next year. Great to see you. And I almost finished my red wine. I don't know if you see it. It wasn't much, but and the milk is finished as well. So in 2 weeks' time, I believe Shauna is back with the second level and with the next level of her transformational strategy for us. So keep coming, because there are people in the background working and delivering in this space what they've learned, and share this with us. Have a great night.
Thank you, Yolanta. Thank you so much. And
Great
thanks
to see
all
you.
the ladies for your shares and being here with us.
Everyone.
Thank you. Good night.
No.
Good night.
Bye.